Hello everyone, and welcome to another tutorial video. Today I'm going to be starting hopefully another two-parter. I know I had another two-parter that I never finished, but I'll get back to that someday. Anyway, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos from LOLathon and Cyberchimp, and I wanted to show off like how they do some of the stuff that they do, or at least how I would go about and do it. I don't know if this. I'm not going to say this is how they do it, but it is a way that they do a lot of their or that I would do it. Do some of their animations. A lot of their animations involve a talking bit, and they animate the mouth. If you know anything about keyframing, or if you've ever attempted it, it can be very hard to line up the sound of the mouth movement to the words, and there's a pre-made system that kind of takes the VR chat thing or visemes and automates it as if you are saying it yourself. And I'll put a link, of course, down below, but what I'm talking about is this right here, the LipsyncHelper. It's a GitHub, and you can download this, but and it's a Unity script. Drag and drop it into Unity. I've already added it here, it's right here, but just adding this alone will have compiler errors. You will also need from the Oculus side of things this right here, the Oculus Unity file. Again, I'll put this in the description so you can have it here. You need both of them, otherwise your project will not run properly. So make a backup before you attempt this, and I'm going to show you how to use it. It's fairly simple. It does have a README, and it does have a link to that Unity pit or the Oculus Lip Sync Unity. Although I think this is an old one. Last time I checked, this link doesn't work, but it might have been fixed. All I can say is you might need to look up Oculus Lip Sync Unity integration and find that download. Anyway, I already have a funny sound file that I found from someone reading the Sims 3 patch notes, which was pretty funny. When choosing a sound, you either have to have something that has no music in the background, otherwise your mouth will be animating the musical bits too. So you either need something that is no music, or you have to have a way to separate that. And there are some programs that I have found that do that. I use a program, and I'm not the biggest advocator of AI, but this is a program that I do use. It's like la 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 AI. There it is. This one, la 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 AI. It does remove the instruments, so you just have a vocal only. You may have to do some editing to boost the audio if you have any programs that do that. I think it's AVS audio editor. I can then, after I separate just the audio, I can then boost it to make it more impactful. Otherwise, it'll look like your character's kind of mumbling. Anyway, long story short, let's get into the actual fun bits. When you're using this, or after you've added the component or added this to your character, you'll have a new component that you have to find where you have your animator and go down to your I already have it right here. I'm going to remove this real quick. Add a component, and you'll type in lip sync to animation is what I'm going to be using. And it's going to be asking for an animation. So you'll have to make an animation. It can be completely blank. So we can make a new animation, Sims, and there's our animation. It's right there. So if we go to our component, you drop down your animation, you drop down your sound file. You need to choose where your mouth is. This is a object. For this, it's a body. That's where our visemes are. Some avatar's head is separate from the body, so you'd have to find the head, wherever that might be. And then it takes a little bit of understanding right here. That's the VRC descriptor. So right here, the prefix, you'll have to go to your blend shapes and see what your prefix is. If I look right here, all these are V underscore, and then it has all this right here. And it's all lowercase, so we're now going to go to this. Nothing is capitalized, so it was lowercase v underscore, and all these were lowercase, so I'll have to change that to pp, ff, th, dd, kk, ch. If you have any, when you look at the animation, and if there's any errors, you have to double check, because sometimes some avatars have things capitalized and uncapitalized, and sometimes it's like just N or NN, so I'm going to see if there's any doubles and not doubles. So RR, NN, KK, FF, EE. I wonder if, did that have FF on it? Or was it just F? Okay. So now that I have that all together, minimum volume all the way down, because we want to have the silent bits too. If you don't have a minimum value, it won't sync up properly. And once you are done, you click convert. And it'll take a moment. But if we go into our animation, there's our visemes. It's missing E. So our character has EE, so I'm actually just going to manually, I'll have to do this again. So I messed up here a little bit, but it's good to see how to fix when you make a mistake. I'm just going to delete it all. And we're going to go back to our thing over here. And they have just one E. This was what I was talking about. I need two E's. I did this on one avatar, and their prefix, one of them was like VRC, but for one of them with a period, one of the blend shapes actually had a space in there, and then that messed it all up. So I had to do the whole thing twice to get just that get that one, and with all the yellow missing script things, I just deleted all the ones that weren't working. Anyway, we'll convert this again, and now we have all that. And if I click play, we'll see that our character's mouth will start moving. But there's no sound, and we'll just have to add that to the part of the animation. And that's pretty easy to do. We'll just, I'm going to add a component. I'll put it in the armature, audio link, audio source. I'll put it right here, priority high, pitch, don't want to mess with pitch. We'll make it 3-dimensional. And let's turn the gizmos on so we can see how big this guy is. We'll move it up so it looks like it's coming out of the head. And I like to do linear roll off, and you don't need 500. That's huge. That's 20, and that's pretty big. You do have to realize though that you'll quickly become quiet as people get off of that. So I do like to increase this a little bit so that people that are kind of close can hear me. They don't get the full volume, and people that are, because when you hit the halfway mark, it's at half volume. So at here, people are hearing half. So probably let's make this 15. And I am trying to use this more often. I don't use it that often. VRC sound, spatial sound component. The gain is actually defaulted to 10. You don't want to mess with that. The far is actually is the same as this, which will be max distance, which is 15. And the near, we're going to make it the same as that one, which is 4. And use audio search or volume. We'll just leave that all alone. And we're going to disable this and probably rename it Sims. And in our animation, we'll go back. We're at the 0, 0 point. We're going to just animate, toggling it on. And then it'll be on for the full thing. And if we toggle it off, it'll be off. Anyway, we'll just go ahead and make a real quick toggle. Sim. Just calling it Sims because it's making fun of the Sims 3 patch node. And if you know how to make a toggle, we've done this before. So I'm probably not going to say too much about this. Nope, not that. Now, did I call it Sims or Sims? Okay, Sim, single. And that should be all we need to do for that. And if we go through, I'm going to go into Gesture Manager. We'll give it a quick little try. And the reason why I brought that up, the whole LOL-a-thon and Cyberchimp, is, like I said, I've seen a lot of things that they do it's funny because the character looks like it's saying it, and like I said, it's the visemes that really do that, and just adding that little bit of detail does add a little bit of funny to things. And I could probably, like, if I really wanted to, I could have a little script that was showing it more of what I'm doing, because this is like talking about bad things that happens to the Sims, and I find it pretty funny. So anyway, we're gonna turn our gizmos off. Get pretty close to the head so we can see it. Make it the primary focus. Yep. And Gesture Manager.
Alright, let's check the patch notes for The Sims 3. Kleptomaniac Sims can no longer steal subway stations from lots. Sims can no longer woohoo in the elevator with a Sim who is on a different floor. The Grim Reaper will no longer be prevented from reaping souls due to band affiliation. Fix the tuning issues so that Sims now vomit at acceptable level. It is no longer possible to try for baby with become enemies with child wish no longer appears. Sims who are on fire will no longer be forced to attend graduation before they can put themselves out. Pregnancy.
So yeah, you get the idea. Funny ha-has all around. And that's kind of like the basis of a lot of that stuff for at least animating the mouth. It's all about finding the right sound file or editing the sound file, and this is a really powerful tool to add to that. And this doesn't mess with my body. I could still be running around, moving my hands. I could be animating. I don't know if I put on this window. No, this one doesn't have it. I'm going to add a little bit more to this video. I'm just going to be talking about it though. I'm not going to be showing it. Maybe I'll make another video later about that. But the other component is also like the facial animations, like the like a smile or making the eyes kind of close or blink during the animation. And to help with that, there's something called better keyframing. I've seen quite a few of it, but what that allows you to do, the one that I have, is while you have the audio source enabled, you can actually hear the audio in the time. See, right now it's mute, so I can't really understand where I am in the conversation. But this will allow the audio to be playing in the background at the same time, and so I could find out where it makes him laugh, like he starts laughing. I could just make it so he closes his eyes, so it's it looks more like and maybe have give him a bigger smile. So now he's laughing about the whole situation, kind of adding to the realism to it. But um, I'm not going to, like I said, I might do another video on that one. Better keyframing is pretty helpful addition to this, and also if you're trying to do like a thing that has is tied to music. I don't know if you've ever seen like those huge animations that play out where it's a grand event where a whole bunch of stuff is all happening to the beat of a song or something. That's a good tool to use to achieve that goal. And yeah, I think this is all I'm going to show for today. The next part is animating the body so that you actually don't have, like, if you're in half body or no body, if you're in desktop mode, there's a way to make it so like the character will move around, walk around, and animate. Though you will need someone that has full body or half body to record it. It's a powerful tool that I've actually tried to make that video 3 times now in the past, and I keep stuff keeps happening. Is all I can say halfway through the recording. One last thing to put one last thing to put at the very end. I forgot to say this. Obviously, because this is this animation, we don't want it to loop. We want to make sure to turn off loop time. Otherwise, once we hit the very end of the animation, it will jump back and start doing it again. It'll just keep going and going and going. When it's done, it should stop. So that's why turn off loop time. Um, and yeah, forgot about that little part. Anyway, goodbye.